Erica Lowry Jones and the Got What You Need Network and Model E and Friends. She said, told me I was beautiful. Emily White said, the person in front of me paid for my breakfast at the McDonald's drive-thru. I've heard of that. That for a while, that was kind of a thing. It was kind of going around.
Mm-hmm.
LJ said, this is tough. I had lost my driver's license and didn't have enough cash to pay for my lunch and felt I couldn't use a credit card because they'd asked for my driver's license. Someone gave me $1 to cover the rest. Then someone mailed me back the driver's license, so I didn't have to get a new one. So so that's two strangers. But then another time when Amanda was still in a stroller, I parked imprudently at a mall and realized there were stairs, and a stranger helped pick up the other end and helped me carry the stroller up 5 steps. There's more since there really are so many wonderful random people out there, and I've tried to return the favor as often as possible. All right. Chaz Shamam Jr. said, my car broke down around 7 a.m. in the middle of North Carolina farm country. A farmer plowing his field saw my car's hood up with steam billowing out. He came over to see what was wrong and left. He returned with antifreeze, water, and new hose and tools. He fixed it he fixed it, and I tried to give him money, and he would not take it. Ms. Gwen Turner said, I once left my purse in a rest stop.
Oh, no.
30 miles away from me. Didn't realize it until we got home. I just knew it was gone. A lady found it and returned it. She saw my ID, looked me up in the phone book, and gave me a call. That was back in the day when your name was actually in the phone book. I was so grateful. I also gave her a reward. So Bobby Holiday said, I crashed on my bike one night, and this complete stranger picked me up, put my bike in his truck, and drove me home. Okay. That was a little bit risky there. Mm-hmm. Rambo said a big guy, escorted me from downtown Greyhound Station across town to the city bus station during the Watts riot. I was about 16 years old, innocent kid. I'll never forget him. Now, I don't usually interject race into stories, but I feel like this story it's relevant. So that you guys get the full gist of the story. Rambo is a Caucasian gentleman, and the big guy that escorted him was a black guy, and this was in the middle of one of the most infamous race riots in our country, the Watts riot. So yeah, that's pretty magnanimous, that gesture there for that stranger. Auntie Nina said, in Puerto Rico, on business, left my bag on a tram. Stranger found me by the hotel key tag. Had my bag, everything intact, delivered to my hotel room. My whole life was in that bag. My trip would have been ruined. Broke them off a big tip as they left a contact number with the concierge in the event the bag was not spoken for. Hashtag human angels do exist. All right. Tony Santiago said, pay my parking meter.
All right.
Tina Greenwood said, super long story. When our house caught fire, we were in L.A. We came home, and it was insane. So scary. This man came around from the backyard area, and he had been driving by, saw the smoke, stopped to see if anyone was inside. It was dark, late-ish. He had knocked, yelled, and actually ran to the back slider and busted it to go inside to save anyone who may have been inside. Didn't take anything, didn't want anything, just a truly good Samaritan. That's pretty going above and beyond, risking his life like that. Pretty awesome. Then she continues, she says, second part, over a year after that fire incident, the company, ServPro, cleaned all of the smoke, smell from our stuff, etc. An employee found an album I'd made of our boy. Took the time to look up our info and brought it to our home. They didn't need to do that. It had been over a year. We assumed whatever we'd lost was just gone. They could have easily just tossed it out. Super nice. There are still kind people out there.
There sure are.
There you go. All right. That was great. That was great. You guys came through with those. Those was nice, really good, feel-good stories there. Awesome. Give yourselves a hand because we're all strangers one time or another. Mm-hmm.
I said that before. A stranger is a friend you haven't met.
Yes, that's what I said. I still maintain that is the Boy Scout Predators mantra. Okay, Pip, let's go with you. What's the nicest thing a stranger ever did for you?
When I was the summer, I think it was that I left grad school, starting off doing my professional career life. I was on my way to a family reunion in Kentucky, and my car broke down on the way in Kentucky. I think it was actually not far from where I was going, but far enough that I was on the one side of the state and they were on the other.
Right.
So I was not in a town. I was in the middle of nowhere, up a hill, and just stuck there. No cell phones yet. Cell phones hadn't happened yet. So I didn't know where to go, which direction to walk, how far back to the exit, and stuff like that. I was trying to figure all that stuff out when somebody pulled up beside me and asked me if he could help. Told him what was going on, where I was going. He said, all right, I'll be right back. And he drove away, and I was stuck there. And he came back with a tow truck and towed me to the next town, towed me to the gas station. The gas station was closing, and the guy was there. It's like, I have to look at it in the morning. I'm really sorry. I have to go for the evening, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy who told me said, I'm going to take you back to my house. If you need to call your family, they can come pick you up at my house. So he took me back to his house, and my family came to get me. And while the dude fed me, gave me some liquor, hung out with real nice dude till my family came and got me.
Wow. That was great. Shout out. That was nice. Okay, so this one, some people may feel like it doesn't count, but I think it counts because it was more of an offer that I didn't actually take them up on, but I believe it was sincere, and it was just so, okay, I'll give you the story. So I'm on my honeymoon with my wife, obviously.
I hope so.
And we're in Niagara Falls, or were we in Toronto at this point? I'm not sure which, because we mostly stayed in Niagara Falls, but we went to Toronto as well, and we were doing some shopping. Actually, I was doing some shopping at the time, and we were in the mall. I believe we were in Toronto. We were in Toronto, and Canada, there's a pretty large Jamaican population there. Mm-hmm. The sales lady was a Jamaican lady, young Jamaican lady. So nice, very sweet, and the stereotype of the Canadians being friendly, it's just so true. It is so true. They're beautiful, warm, friendly people. So nice. Such a great time. So while we're shopping and things, and we're talking. My wife, she loves to talk. She talks to everybody, anybody, and so they're hitting it off, and I'm chiming in between coming in and out the dressing room and whatnot, and so we're just making small talk, which Pip hates, and she's like asking like, oh, where are you guys from? Where are you staying? Da da da, and we're from Los Angeles, and we're staying at some hotel in Niagara Falls, and so she goes on to say, like, hotel? Why are you staying? We're like, well, where else are we going to stay? We're here on vacation. We don't know anyone. So she's like, well, you know me. And we're like, what? And she goes, yeah, you could come stay with us. Why don't you get out of that? Because that's such a waste of money. And I'm waiting like, oh, is she going to say she rent us a room or something?
Right.
And she's like, yeah, go check out your hotel, get your stuff, come stay with me and my husband and my kids. And you can save all that money and use that to enjoy yourself on your trip while you're here. And me and my wife, we look at each other and we're waiting for her to laugh or like for the punchline or something. And we're like, you're serious? She's like, of course I'm serious. Why wouldn't I be serious? And she gets on her phone and she calls her husband. She's like, honey, I met these guys, this couple, and they know that I want them to come stay. And he's like, yeah, tell them to come on. And we're like, oh my God, you guys are the nicest people in the world. We're like, you can't do that. She's like, well, why not? I was like, people will kill you. like, you can't do that. You can't offer it to people, and you can't receive that from people because people will kill you and eat you and stuff. Like, right? You can't do that. Like, thank you so much for offering. Oh, you're so sweet. But we're like, no, we couldn't. So I just thought that was like, and she was very serious. And I believe, had we done it, I believe we would have had a great time.
I believe you would too.
I believe it would have been like they would have adopted us, and I think we probably would still be friends to this day. I think that, and I think we really missed out, but it was just no way I could take that chance. And I just would not feel comfortable just imposing like that. You know what I mean? Like, but I
agree.
And unless they just had even if they had a mansion, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Like, even if they were totally fine with it, which they seemed to be, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But that was just amazing, that offer. Wow. I was just blown away. I was blown away. Me and my wife, we were like, wow, that was amazing.
There are nice people in the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, more often than not, people are nice and they do these. They've done these. I like watching these things. They do it time and time again. A lot of late night talk show hosts and other different little TV specials will do these things where they do experiments to see how the average human behaves in certain responses, in certain situations. Mm-hmm. And they'll do things like they'll drop a wallet with cash money in it, and an address, like a card or something, or an ID, and see almost 100% of the time people do the quote unquote right thing, mm-hmm. and return it with nothing missing. Just time and time again, people do this. And they also, the one that I saw most recently, they wanted to see how many people would do the right thing with getting too much change back. Mm-hmm. And they did it. They added a twist to it. So the first time the barista they did it at like a coffee place. And so the barista was just like a normal barista, and without fail, every person returned the overpayment, mm-hmm. Then they made the barista a bitch.
Yeah.
And then they got a lot of people who just kept the overpayment.
Of course. Yeah. I don't want to go back and deal with that.
Yeah. Well, and they was like,
don't deserve that money.
Well, yeah, they were like, well, she was such, and they interviewed them afterwards, and they, and all that. And they were like, oh, well, yeah, she was such a bitch that, I just was like, whatever. I just kept it. I didn't feel like, so mm-hmm. I felt justified in keeping it,
Yeah. And if this hastens getting her fired, good.
Right. But before, though, it wasn't like she wasn't like a super barista. She just was like not a bitch. Mm-hmm. She just had to be a normal person.
And most people do the right thing.
Yeah. And people, yeah. So I just like seeing those things, and it helps remind me that, because like I said, we see there's so much of our media that's concentrated on the sensational wrong, and what's wrong and what's negative, that it warps us. Mm-hmm. That's why we think that our kids are not safer now than they were when we were kids. Than we were as kids. It's not true. They are, at least as safe, if not safer, statistically speaking. But we feel as though they're not, because our media we're just bombarded. And with the fact now that we have social media, and we have so many more news outlets, and we have the internet with all these other media outlets where this negative information is just passed around all the time, our perception is that people are horrible. Mm-hmm. The average person is a monster. That's that's the message that we get, and that's how we take it. But it's not true. It's not true. The average person is a decent person. Mm-hmm. People are very decent on the average. So, but anyway, all right, that was great. So for next week, guys, we want to get your input about the whole Halloween situation. Are you yay for Halloween being moved to the last Saturday of October, or you nay, leave it the way it is? Give us your choice, yay or nay, on the Halloween situation. Okay, so